Alliances break, alliances form. What a week inside the Big Brother house. Welcome to this week's edition of the B2M2 podcast. Alongside Mitchell Machtinger, I'm Michael Hoad. So much to talk about, we'll do our best to sum everything up in half an hour. How did you enjoy Devin's reign this week, Mitch?
I had no idea what was going on for most of it. I was pretty nervous throughout. I didn't want Zach to go home, so I'm happy he stayed. But that was probably one of the most exciting week twos in recent Big Brother memory.
Definitely. So before we jump into the breakdown of this week, one of the twists from this season has finally come together. That's the Team America twist, so we'll start the show off with that before we get into the insanity that went down this week. So with Donnie already a member of Team America, Frankie and Derek joined him. Frankie, not a big surprise at all. We both figured he'd be up there. I was surprised by Derek. I didn't see that coming. How about you?
No, I was also surprised by Derek. I wasn't disappointed. I think he had a big week this week, and it sort of showcased why he was chosen. I was expecting someone like Nicole or Christine or Hayden, but I'm not mad at all that Derek was chosen.
So how this went about happening was they were called into the diary room and given these code words to use. They were told to go to the workout bench at 9 o'clock, I think it was, and then use the code words apple pie and bald eagle. So we had Derek and Frankie hanging out there, and then subtly Derek was asking about everyone's favorite dessert. Frankie caught on to what he was doing, said his favorite dessert was apple pie. So those two clicked, and then Frankie responded about like what your favorite animal is. Derek told a story about a bald eagle at a zoo.
Yeah, but Caleb was there too, and he said his favorite animal was an eagle. So that was pretty funny to see if like he accidentally almost fell into Team America.
That would have been disastrous for them. And then Donnie comes out, and I don't know why he has this, but he has this cup with a picture of an apple pie on it. Was that something he brought in, or is that actually provided by Big Brother? Do you know the answer to that?
I don't know. If he brought it in, it wouldn't surprise me. But
it's just totally random.
Yeah, classic Donnie to just come up like that. And
So Frankie gave them the name, the brains, the beard, and the beauty. The brains being Derek, the beard obviously being Donnie, and then Frankie is the beauty. So Team America is underway. They've been given, well, they don't know this, but America's been given the choice of what task they want them to complete. They can either get two people to kiss and then spread rumors that they're in a showmance, or they can spread rumors that someone in the house is related to a past contestant. So we'll find out Sunday what task is chosen.
Yeah, both of those could potentially harm the game of whoever ends up being chosen. I don't know how they're going to choose who to, make up these rumors about. I hope it's not the producers telling them who, because that's like interference, and I don't like when they do that. But for the showmance, I think an easy one they could pull off is Nicole and Hayden. I can't think of two others off the bat, unless it's like Zach and Frankie or something.
Frankie.
But for the BB relation, again, that's also we saw with Alyssa Riley last year. It made her a huge target throughout the game. So we'll see where it goes and which one ends up being chosen.
Yes, I am glad that it's this type of thing and not just stupid stuff around the house, like hiding pillows or hiding food or something. Anyways, jumping into what actually went down. So we left off last week with Devin and Amber winning HOH. Devin only won because both Hayden fell off right at the end, and then Cody was disqualified. So Devin is in power to start. And we have Cody sort of emotional about losing it. He really wanted to get the letter and see pictures of his family and stuff. And then Zach sort of pulls him aside and tells him, hey, it's cool. We have to act all happy. A bomb squad member won, so let's get out there and put our happy faces on.
I don't think Frankie and Caleb got pictures or letters, though, at least that we saw when they were HOH.
The first one, you're right. Amber and Devin did.
Yeah, they both did, but I don't think Frankie and Caleb did last week.
That's true.
So the Ariana Grande plot thickens for another week.
So Devin is really, he's feeling a little guilty, and he's really driving the point home that he's here for his daughter, in case we didn't know that. He repeats that about 1 million times over the course of this week. And he says that he wants to play with as much integrity as possible, and he's been struggling with how he's played up to this point. So the first thing he does is he goes over to Donnie and confesses that he was a target for him and didn't trust him. And he assures Donnie that he's not a target anymore. Donnie says that he's okay with that to his face, but then in the diary room we hear that he's not going to trust Devin again. So then we get the first house meeting of the week, and this is a game changer.
The first
of few. This one's called by Devin, and he gives this emotional speech and pours his heart out to that Donnie is the kindest man in the world, and he says, no amount of money is worth compromising my integrity. So he tells the house that he had the hand in who got nominated last week, especially Donnie, and that doesn't go over so well because Brittany, being the smart woman that she is, catches on and says, oh, well, then I guess it wasn't going by the people who fell off first, which was the justification Caleb and Frankie gave for their nominations.
Yeah, Devin tried to say that Brittany twisted his words around. I don't see that at all. She obviously caught on to that reasoning, and it made sense. So Devin's argument, just classic Devin, I guess. The only way to put it.
And then Frankie and Caleb are not too pleased with this because it made them look like liars. More fallout from this is Derek says that he's not going to be working with Devin for the long haul. I think we already knew that based on his initial reaction to the bomb squad, but he's made it even clearer now. And then the word gets back to Devin about Brittany's reaction, and Devin says he is now targeting Brittany. So lots of fallout from that house meeting. On a lighter note here, we get Hayden and Nicole with a little flirting scene. And then as a result of that, Nicole has the idea to bring Hayden into the alliance with her and Christine. And they call themselves the Weirdos. I'm a big fan of this alliance. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, big fan. Originally, I was a bit worried about Hayden interfering with Nicole and Christine because we hadn't seen much of him, but I think this week he stepped up, or we got to see more about what he's about. So it's good. I hope those three go really far.
So Christine is now in with the Weirdos and in with the Bomb Squad. I don't think she's too loyal to the Bomb Squad. I think she'll stick with Hayden and Nicole as her primary alliance. And then we get a little tender moment between two of the biggest guys in the house. We get Caleb and Devin and their bromance just getting a little stronger. Caleb says that he's feeling lonely and misses being cuddled. And then Devin says, oh, I'll always cuddle with you, bro. I'd sing you a song if I could sing you a song. So I don't know, it was a cute little moment. Potentially one of the targets for Team America to spread the showmance around. So with Amber and Devin in power, we get more of the HOH collusion that happened in the first week. Amber originally says she doesn't want to put up any girls because they already kicked out Joey last week. Devin wants to put an alliance member up as a pawn originally, and that's not met with the greatest reaction. Derek shuts it down because, pawns always could have the chance of going home even if they are up strictly as a pawn. More conflict between Devin and Amber. Devin gets mad because he finds Brittany's hand cream or something in the kitchen, and I don't know why that really sets him off.
Well, because they were cleaning the kitchen together because nobody else was cleaning it, and I guess it was hers specifically. So when he went to go back to her, he got really mad that she wasn't helping to clean.
Yeah. So for actual nominations, Devin gets the egg that says he picks first. He puts up Brittany, and then Pow Pow. Obviously, she's not good at challenges, so he puts her up with the person he wants out.
It's interesting so far. I think for both weeks, the person who's nominated first had their nomination stick. So I don't know if it just worked out that way, but it could also show that the first two nominees are pretty much the nominees for both, and they're pretty much the main targets.
Right. And then Amber puts up Hayden and Nicole, but there's a reason for this. So Devin calls Hayden and Nicole upstairs and explains that he put these two strong people up. He says Hayden's a beast in the challenges and Nicole's got the brains, because they really want to make sure Brittany goes home. And then additionally, and this causes a little bit of a lot of a stir later on, Devin tells Paula to throw the competition and then promises her that if she does, he'll keep her around the house.
I don't think she even knew if she threw it or not.
Yeah. She was just awful at competition.
Yeah, you always got to, no matter what, if you're on the block, even if they say you're a pawn and you're safe, you always got to play to save yourself. Like, it's an individual game, and you got to, it's one of the first rules of Big Brother.
Definitely. And then Zach and Frankie, this was one of the highlights of my week. They just showed a bunch of, like a compilation of these two walking around the house, lying on the bed together. So they give themselves the name Zanky, and it's a huge, well, I think bromance, but also potential showmance. I don't know. I found it pretty funny.
I think Zach's way more into it than Frankie is,
yeah,
which is the funny part. But the first thing I thought was that it could make themselves a target within the bomb squad, because they might get jealous of the pair. But I mean, they had a bit of a falling out later in the week. But I mean, it's good to, I guess, have a sub-alliance within a large alliance.
And then if you flash back to, I think, the second episode of the season, where Zach was pissing off Frankie and talking about like how he knew that his high school was a rich one and didn't like the kids that went there. This bromance, showmance sort of put any hard feelings aside, and we know that they're tight, at least for now. So we get the Battle of the Block competition. It's at 5 a.m. And what happens is they show a bunch of these fabricated pictures on a screen, and then you have to remember details about the photos. So the first question, Brittany answers incorrectly, and if you answer incorrectly, you have to have a punishment against you. So she has to wear these beer goggles for the rest of the challenge, and she just can't see anything. So she's pretty much relying on Pow Pow at this point, and that's never good. Needless to say, Hayden and Nicole win. Amber gets dethroned, and Devin is the legitimate HOH. Whether Pow Pow threw the contest or not, I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. She'll never know. None of us will ever know.
This resulted in two girls being on the block, which is exactly what Amber said she didn't want to happen. So Devin just completely overtook that HOH decision. So Devin then gives himself humbly the name Puppet Master, because he thinks he's controlling everything that goes around in the house. And then Devin assures Hayden that he's going to keep him around for a while and that he'll never be nominated again. Hayden and Nicole do not want to be associated with knowing that Paula threw the contest, quotes. So Hayden and Nicole have a little moment, and then they talk, and Hayden says, "So can we kiss it out?" And Nicole says no. But we'll see, I think, later on. They're going to kiss it out.
For sure.
So then already we see these cracks forming in the bomb squad. Zach, Derek, Christine, and Cody call themselves the smarter subdivision of the bomb squad. Don't know if all those guys are the smarter ones. Definitely Derek and Christine are. And these guys aren't down with Devin's plan to get rid of Brittany. They want Pow Pow gone. So, do you think these four are indeed the smartest of the eight, Mitch?
They're certainly the more likable half of the bomb squad. But, I mean, I don't even know where that alliance stands anymore.
No.
There's people being added, there's people pulling themselves out, there's people being kicked out. So I couldn't. If you asked me to name all 8 or 7 or 9 members, I wouldn't be able to right now.
Fair enough. So Frankie and Devin are getting suspicious of Amber and Caleb's flirtatious relationship. They think Amber is a dangerous player. But, I mean, if Devin thought that Amber was so dangerous, he was the one who went rogue and brought her in on his own. So, I mean, that decision just completely blew up in his face.
Well, it's okay, because he then kicked himself out of the bomb squad.
He did.
So he's playing just for himself now, as he said.
And I think Amber is completely playing Caleb, which is amazing. She knows that he is completely into her, and she's just using it to her advantage, which I'm very pleased with. I mean, if you have that, why not use it? But Caleb doesn't like how Devin has been treating his queen, he calls Amber. So this leads to a butting of heads between Devin and Caleb. In the backyard, Devin calls off the alliance, and then Caleb tells Devin that he's going home next week. This was a big disaster. In the show, it actually only lasted for a couple minutes. Caleb and Devin made up and hug it out. They're bros again. And they reassured each other they'd always have their backs. But then Caleb, in this emotional moment, I guess, this tender moment between the two, slips up and says that some people in the bomb squad want Devin gone. So this, they call another meeting, this time only with members of the bomb squad.
Yeah, it lit the fuse of the bomb squad.
Yeah, this is where the week started to get insane. Devin just sort of pulled the room about who they want gone.
Probably after calling another house meeting.
Yeah. And Zach is the only one who speaks up and says that he wants Brittany to stay. So no one else takes his back. Even I think him and Cody are pretty tight. Cody doesn't speak up either. So Zach's just sort of left out on an island. So everyone leaves the room. Zach stays back with Devin. And then Zach makes things worse and confesses that he was one of the ones that said he wanted Devin out.
He tried to smooth things over. He's like, "Oh, Devin, you appreciate honesty and like you want to play an honest game, so I'm trying to be honest with you." But you never know with Devin. It's better just to keep your mouth shut around this guy than to go up against him.
Yeah, he tried to smooth it over, saying like, "Those words came out of my mouth, but I mean, I didn't mean it, bro." It's like, okay, then why'd you say that? And then Devin says that he's done with Zach.
Yeah, Devin also said like. He's like, "Oh, people think I get upset over these things. I don't get upset." And it's very clear he gets upset over pretty much anything anybody says about him.
So then we come to the veto challenge with Paula and Brittany already competing, and Devin obviously. Zach, Amber, and Derek are the 3 additional players picked.
It was a really interesting group for the veto. I didn't know what would happen if a couple of them won, so the veto competition was really important.
It was one of those balancing games. They had to hang these planets on a series of metal bars and get them all to balance. Devin ends up winning. Before the competition, he told Pow Pow that if he won, he would take her off the block. And then Brittany goes up to the HOH room and plays to Devin's emotional side, saying how she wants one of the parents to win.
That was a good call. Good move by Brittany.
Great move.
So I'm pretty sure Brittany, Devin, Derek, and Jocasta are the only parents in the house.
Brittany, Devin, Derek, and Jocasta. Yeah, I think so too. And then Brittany promises Devin that she won't put him up on the block. And then Devin tells her that Paula threw the competition. Yikes. So then Zach and Devin have another scene. Zach says to Devin, "If you want to put me up, do it." That wasn't that smart a move at the time because apparently Devin said he hadn't even been thinking about that option. Who knows if that's truthful. But he ends up removing Brittany from the block and putting up Zach. I know that must have led to some
I was really
moments.
scared. Not just because I like Zach, because I also hate Devin. Devin's one of Devin's problems this week, many problems, was he made too many promises to too many people. He promised Paula something, he promised Brittany something, he promised probably Amber and the bomb squad something. So when push came to shove, you could only make one decision and come through on one promise. It ended up being to Brittany, so Paula was the victim of her own fate, I guess. But when Devin was arguing with the bomb squad about keeping floaters around and getting rid of Brittany, it actually made sense. But I don't think they were everybody else. I think everyone else was just so sick of him that they didn't want anything to do with Devin anymore. They're just like, okay, Devin, like, yes, Devin, let's finish your reign as HOH and then get you out as soon as we can.
Yeah. So after the veto meeting, Brittany speaks up, and this was a cliffhanger. This was on the Wednesday episode. We hear Brittany has something to say, and then they cut the show and pick it up on Thursday. So we had to stir a bit waiting for this.
Yeah, some of Devin's crazy definitely rubbed off on pretty much everybody in the house, I think. It was funny, though. I was in the diary room sessions, at least, I think, 2 different people in one episode had called Devin the devil, which is pretty funny. But
so Brittany speaks up, says Paola threw the competition, and then Paola tries to make herself look better and says that Devin asked her to throw the competition, but she didn't. But Brittany points out that Paola wasn't wearing her glasses, and the competition was based on her vision. So I think Paola threw it. But chaos just ensues. Zach stands up and goes on a rampage.
See, if I was Zach during this, after the whole Paola Brittany thing, I just would have kept my mouth shut and just walked away. He
shut up.
Yeah, he definitely dug his hole deeper.
He says that his sole mission in the house now is to get Devin out, so they should keep him around. And then we have some tension between Frankie and Zach. Frankie is not happy with Zach's outburst. Frankie thinks that it compromised his honesty. So do you think this is the end of Zanky?
We'll have to see. I don't really understand. I mean, people would know that Zach and Frankie are close. I don't understand fully why Frankie was mad. I mean, Zach kept referring to him, but we'll see how it goes. I think Frankie took it a bit too personal, but his game is pretty obvious right now. Just play a really good social game, which I think he's doing excellently.
Mm-hmm. So Devin believes that his alliance, and therefore the house, is going to vote out Zach. So the bomb squad would be down to 7. So Devin wants to bring in a new member to replace Zach. So he recruits Hayden. Hayden says yes to Devin's face. Obviously he would. But then in the diary room, he says that he wants to blow up the bomb squad. I don't really get why they felt the need to replace Zach. I mean, they'd still have 7 with a house of 13, so that's still the majority. I don't know, but Devin being Devin. So Derek definitely wants Zach to stay. He starts giving advice to Zach to go do some damage control and sort of lay low. And then Derek also reveals some ulterior motives here. He says that if Zach stays, he's going to be a target. So that would give Team America more time to complete challenges, make money. So good on Derek.
Yeah, Zach really messed up this week. I think he was in a really good spot, and the whole Devin fiasco is going to hurt him.
So Frankie's the one who breaks the news to Devin that Zach is going to be staying, and therefore now they have a 9-person alliance out of, it's going to be...
But isn't it 8 because Devin pulled himself out of the bomb squad?
After hearing this, Devin says that he's done with the bomb squad. He's just playing for for his daughter. He just hopes to win a bunch of challenges and go all the way to the end. Paola gets evicted 10-2. No, not really a surprise. And then I thought the HOH competition was going to carry over to Sunday, but it didn't.
Yeah, there hasn't been one yet that's carried over to wait and see till Sunday.
We're so due for one of those. Anyways, it was called underwater polo. They had to hit a ball down a ramp with a series of obstacles, and then there were slots with numbers in them, and the people who hit the ball into the highest 2 slots won the comp.
I'm happy they didn't split it up to men and women again.
Yeah.
It's one of those competitions where you could anybody can win. It's all by chance, so I'm happy with the way it is. I hope for the future it's not like that either. Maybe unless the guys or the girls end up winning a bunch of them in a row. But if it's an even playing field for everybody, those are the ones I think that are the best.
Yes. And then Derek and Nicole are the 2 HOHs. I think this is going to be an interesting week. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Devin is the obvious target, but is he? Does Derek want to cut that bridge right now?
I don't think Nicole would have a problem putting Devin up in the end.
Are they going to? Yeah, in the end. Like, they're not going to want to put Devin up for Battle of the Block and for veto. Like, he give him 2 chances to win something. So it could be a backdoor. We'll see. I think this is going to be a good week.
Yeah, I think between the two of them, they pretty much have a large reach of protection around the house. They probably have at least like 10 of the 14 people remaining. So I could see people like Victoria and Jocasta going out, maybe Donnie too. I don't know who's going to be nominated, but I'm pretty sure in the end, Devin's going to end up on the block.
Yeah. All right, so let's move into our surprises and disappointments of the week. Mitch, let's hear yours.
Okay, so I have 2 surprises this week. One of them was Brittany. It's good to see some fight in her. I think she played a strong game this week. She played to Devin's emotions, which was a really smart move, and she got herself off the block. And Derek had a big week this week. I think we saw just how much of a threat he can be. He stayed low, but he still has a hand in what's going on in the house, and I really liked what I saw from Derek this week.
All right, my surprises, the Weirdos Alliance. I am a huge fan of this. They're, at least Hayden and Nicole are 2 of my favorite cast members so far. I like Christine too. We don't really know what's going on with her, but I'm a big fan of that alliance. I think they can go far if they keep it a secret. The Zanke alliance was very entertaining. I don't know where they stand now. And then Derek, as you said, was also a surprise for me. So, disappointments.
My disappointments, Cody, I know you said last week you were disappointed in him, and I said give him some time. But he hasn't, with being in the bomb squad, he hasn't done much. And my number 1 disappointment, almost forgot she even existed, was Victoria. I don't think she had a DR session one time during the entire week. I don't even know if we saw her, like, even on the widespread, like, kitchen shots. She wasn't even there. So Victoria is, I think, giving the house guys catch on that she's just there, barely. And my last disappointment is Paula, especially during the veto ceremony. She just, like, did some modeling thing and posing. And then she admitted she didn't even know, like, what she was really doing. And, yeah, she would have been gone pretty soon anyways, but it was just a bad week overall for her.
My disappointments, Zach, because of his blow up, he's put a target on his back. And then Victoria and Jocasta, not really anything that these 2 have done in particular. It's just because that we don't really know what they're doing. I mean, they're lying low, but I'm just disappointed that I don't know more about these 2 players. So, point recap. I think I had a pretty huge week, making up for Joey's minus 19 or whatever she left.
So, after Sunday, Mitchell was up 21-6, so that was me. And I was looking pretty good. And then at the end of the week, now, Michael, you're up 32-31. I've been pretty lucky that the HOHs have been split because pretty much my 3 HOHs between Nicole, Amber, and Caleb are my only points. If Joey's eviction wasn't unanimous, you didn't have that minus 13, you'd have a lot more points than you do right now. The only 2 people without any point activity of any sort are Christine and Jocasta, I think for 2 very different reasons. And so that's the point total. I mean, it's close on paper, but on the field, I guess it's a lot different. You got some big powerhouses in Devin, Derek, and Frankie.
Devin's scaring me, though.
It's funny. We were discussing a trade about me taking Devin for either Victoria or Jocasta. I thought about it. I seriously thought about it. But Devin could go home this week, potentially unanimous. So despite all the potential challenge points that I might win from him versus the inactivity of Victoria and Jocasta, if if one or both of them end up making it, floating their way to jury and winning like a random challenge on the way, it's a safer bet, I think, than the potential minus points I could get from Devin.
Yeah, Devin, I mean, I really doubt they're going to let him participate in any challenges, so I mean, he's not going to get points, and then I do think it'll be a unanimous vote, so I was trying to dump him on you, but
I thought about it.
Predictions for next week. What do you think?
Again, Victoria and Jocasta and Donnie probably targeted, but hopefully and probably in the end, Devin gets backdoored or is on the block somehow and is evicted.
Yeah, I have no idea who's going to be put up. I, again, really, really, really doubt that it's going to be Devin or Caleb for that matter if they want to get him out because they're not going to give him a chance to play. I think Victoria will be up because that won't ruffle any feathers. Again, we have no idea what she's doing in the house. I don't even know if the people in there know she's around. And then eventually evicted, I think it will be Devin. But if he gets chosen to play in the veto and wins, then I could see Victoria just going home. Again, not ruffling any feathers.
Yeah, they also introduced this new concept at the end of the challenge, the BB activity tracker. I mean, we already have a pretty serious twist, I guess, with America's team. And they said that these players' activity, like how active and how lazy they are, may have an impact on the game. I hope this one's sort of more lighthearted, like, oh, you've been sitting on the couch for 3 days worth of time. Now you have to, like, run 100 laps around the BB house or something like that. But, yeah, we'll see how and when that happens.
Finally, I think we touched on it a bit earlier. What task do you think Team America is going to have to carry out?
I think in the end the showman's vote is going to win. They'll probably just do Nicole and Hayden. Yeah. It's pretty lighthearted anyways, that one. But we'll see potentially what happens. Again, I'm more concerned about how whatever task is chosen, how those people are selected. I hope it's not like, oh, make Nicole and Hayden pretend to have a showmance kind of thing. I hope it's like, you make two huskas have a showmance, and then you guys decide.
Yeah, I think it'll be the discretion of Team America. I don't think they'll be forced to do anyone. Any final thoughts on the week?
This double HOH thing is really putting a whole twist in predictions for the week. It's making it a lot tougher. Hope it's not as stressful as last week, and I hope Devin goes home. That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, well, it should be another amazing week in the Big Brother house. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the B2M2 podcast. For Mitchell Machtinger, I'm Michael Hoad. We'll talk to you next week.